Good Lord, that's a long time.
That is a long time. Evening, everybody. Check one. Logan, thank you for the 47. Evening, everybody. Mike, evening.
All right.
787 Sniped, Canuck fan, evening. Tweak, first. Armafera, good evening. I love that movie, Armafera. Jado, good evening. Mikey, how are you doing? Thank God you beat 787. That would have thrown me completely off. Evening, bittersweet. Logan, 11. Evening, 787. James Martin, sniped. Bryce, I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far. I don't know, Bryce. PP, good evening. Mikey, thank God you're back. Last night I didn't know how to start the stream. Tranquil, good evening. Silent Bob, good morning. Logan, I can't believe you're playing Mortal Kombat 11. Like 3 years later.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
PP sniped Bryce and Max. Evening, James Martin. Max, good evening to you. How are you? Bryce.
My name is Maximus Decimus.
Snipe. Max, good evening. Logan, you're so close to 4 freaking years. 47 months. One of the guys I work with used to compete in Mortal Kombat 10 and 11 tournaments. He's coming over Wednesday to kick my ass for hours. You need to stream that. Oh, I want to see you lose over and over. That's content, Logan. Logan getting frustrated for a few hours? Sign me up. You'll love it. I'm sure you will. Maybe you'll learn something. That's crazy. He's in tournaments. Can't stick around. He's got a new job and start early, but wanted to stop and say hi. Thanks, Max. Appreciate it. James Martin, you're going to see it tomorrow? Isn't it out in like 4 days? We just watched the trailer again tonight because I was like, that's a movie I think I would like to see in the theaters. You know, there's only a few movies I really care about seeing in the theaters. Usually it's like a Star Wars movie or, you know, some huge release, but Top Gun should be in the theater, shouldn't it? Hamburger, I've been there. Yeah, Logan. Been there. That should be a good one.
Eagle has landed.
I'll have to wait for a bit for it, you know, to die down a little. Devious, good evening. How are you? Top Gun is not out yet. Supersonic, not yet. Cirque. I'm going to call you Cirque, CRQ. Missed the end of the stream last night. Did you land it okay? I mean, we struggled to descend, but when we figured out how to get a descent happening, we ended up recovering by doing heading mode for a while, and then we caught the glide slope. We hit the ground pretty hard, and we'll see if tonight's any better. Evening Viper, how are you? And Obi-Wan does start Friday. Yeah, only 2 episodes, I think, on Friday. And then 1 at a time after that. So I spent a lot of my day trying to come up with a checklist to get this thing started tonight. I read through the documentation that comes with it. I watched a little bit of some YouTube videos on it. I feel like I know a little bit more about this plane, but I feel like it's still going to be a science fair. Pretty bad. It was a -2XX landing. Pretty damn good, especially for a first landing. I was happy with it, brace yourself. For the first time, yes. The fact that we went cold and dark and got it up and running and landed, pretty cool. It's because my little brother does Air Cadets in New Zealand and they're doing a fundraiser. Oh, that's awesome, James Martin. So, you know, we've been doing VATSIM, but I wanted to do flights in areas that we wouldn't normally do VATSIM. There's Comic Crazy and the Tomcat. And so I wanted to do something that was going to be a really pretty destination. I needed something relatively close, so Sri Lanka fit that. And you're welcome, Jado. I hope it helps. I'll show it to you all as we do it tonight. And then because I'm going to have to deal with the plane so much while we're flying, I wasn't as concerned about the scenery between the destination and the arrival, or departure and arrival. So this flight is all water. But I am curious to see how Mali looks like and how Maldives looks like. I did look up to see if there was any scenery, like add-ons for this, and the ones I found were not great. So, Sri Lanka was the location of my first FLIG flight request. Do you remember where we flew to? Because I don't remember ever being here. In fact, let's just look around a little bit. So we're right on the coast We're on the southwest coast of Sri Lanka, and we'll be heading that way. And I think this is the main airport, but I don't know. Started getting your checklist into Airtable, by the way, but it's like the Death Star, not quite fully operational. I would have done it, Walk Ninja. I hate for you to do it. I just couldn't figure out how to fill in fields. So I was like, I'll just do this instead for now. Because it took me hours to put that checklist together. I mean, hours. It is, Devious says. It was up near the middle over, I can't say that. Lion Rock, I'll say that. I'm excited about doing this flight tonight. I am. It's going to be something that I want to see some improvement from last night, getting the plane started. I feel like I can do a little bit better on flying the aircraft, but I still don't understand. I don't understand. What's going on, Sebastian? I still don't understand what exactly I'm supposed to do with autopilot and vertical speed and IAS and sync and all that. I'm trying. Tonight's going to be weird, but I'm hoping we can get this thing going and feel like we've gotten better. Well, and I looked to see what flights go from here to the Maldives, and it's like Turkish Airways. There's one Gulf Airlines, and there's what was the other one? Sri Lankan Airlines. Just going through some of the Fliggity Air complaints. Of course you are. I love that. We're gonna have to get to the point where we can't put all of them there. Turn on the timer too. It's an energy drink tonight. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. You're saving money so you can buy the Las Vegas Fly Tampa scenery. It's a good one. It's only what, like $20, Sebastian? Get, it's $20. Go grab it. Oh yeah. There's 48 complaints. What are we doing wrong? Well, I guess the complaints will tell us. We try so hard, brace yourself. I mean, we work so hard to make our customers happy. So hard. That's what she said. That we're not happy until they're not happy. 26 through 43 were from one day. What's up, Illini?
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Evening, Raven. I hope that you all... I don't know who's flying the 146 tonight. I understand if you're not. I understand it's a plane that not a lot of people have. But I'm hoping that by flying this plane and showing it to you, that maybe you're a little bit more interested in it. I do think this is a good plane. Boy, Raven, what a stream last night. If you all didn't see Raven's stream, we rated Raven. Raven ended up with a huge hype train. That was just awesome. Everyone was so awesome. I got my founder's badge. Oh, it was so good, Raven. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that so cool? Got affiliate. Getting ready to quit her job. Living that full-time streamer life. So good. Look at you with your emotes too. Look at your emotes. I haven't even seen these emotes. I've got them.
Reset!
Evening reset. Look at you with 5 different emotes. Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. Yeah, Tweak. If I have to explain how to pronounce legislature to one more person, I may consider quitting. That's great. Well, are we ready to do this? God, I don't know if I'm ready. We gotta go. We gotta go. Let's see. Let's do that. So I put the link to a PDF to the checklist we're using. It's in Discord. It's in the Flight Sim resources. If you want to do that, it is, Bryce. It is a lot to do. So yeah, are we ready? Coming to Raven's next stream and asking about legislature. How else could you say it? Bleana says it's a lot less if you press Control E. You could do that if you want. I feel like that defeats the purpose. John, I mean, it's going to go a little slower than like the 320, but you could probably choose like the TBM 930. I think the TBM 930 should come with your standard edition. Yeah, it's a plane that you've seen us fly quite a bit. Raven says it's Legisler. Seems to be popular among the lot we've onboarded. Legisler. That doesn't even make sense. Blue Yonder's been replaced by a bot filled with phrases about starting a plane quickly. Not Legisler, Legisler. Legisler? That's not even a word. All right. Are we ready? I'm going to put this checklist on this side. Let's see. Do that. I got to get to where I can see you all and that at the same time. Okay. I know I'm stalling. This is going to take a while. So, we ready? Last night, it took an hour and 45 minutes. I think we do...
What are you doing?
I'm making a pan-roasted chicken.
Pan-roasted?
Cheers.
Like seared on the stove and then put in the oven?
Hapes.
Uh-huh. I've just taken the chicken out of the pan. It's so moist.
Sounds like
I'm gonna
Hapes.
let it rest now, about 5 minutes.
Had chicken that I made in a pan.
Yeah. Oh, there's lots
Then
of brown
deglaze
bits
the pan
left
with
at the bottom of the
shallots.
skillet.
You're gonna deglaze that pan?
Oh, I'm gonna deglaze it. You wanna help me?
If I was there, I would. I'd take some red wine, about a quarter cup, and then...
Je suis le président de Burundi.
I'd deglaze the out of that pan.
Thank you,
I got a
Hapes.
wooden spoon right here. It's pretty hard. Yeah, you can put some onion in while you're deglazing. I was thinking about shallots, actually.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Shallots won't overwhelm the chicken's natural flavors. Yeah.
Randy Marsh!
Oh, Jared!
Your time on Food Network Hotline has expired. To add more time, say green free.
Thank you, Hapes. How did your chicken turn out? Did it turn out good? Senator keeps getting turned into sinner. When we get to income figures, instead of said $25,000, people say 25000. Did they say niner as well? I feel like there's a niner in there.
That's amazing. I've got the same combination on my luggage.
Nice, phrase yourself. Turned out pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. Hey, pretty good's pretty good. Wormholes sounds good too. Are we talking about food already? All right, we gotta go. We have A lot of work to do. Can we do a prediction? Will we get this plane off the ground in under an hour and 30 minutes? Last night it was an hour and 45. I have a checklist. Do we think I can do this 15 minutes faster than last night? What's up, Billy Mace? Niner. Hour and 30 from now, like when the timer starts. 42, Armafera says. I'd like 42 minutes in like another 3 or 4 days. Will we look like ZZ Top by the time Flig gets this bird in the air? Poor visibility, ask again. Midnight is not the cutoff. Yeah, 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. Can we be up by 1 a.m.? 30 minutes means 30 minutes. Yes. So will we take off in less than an hour and a half? So far, the waffles are on yes, and only 3 people are voting, so not a lot of confidence. Well, I'm going to let you all do that, and I'm going to get started. What's up, Beer Slayer? Yeah, you
it's
all...
It's not a scam.
Don't distract me.
It's just a shitty deal.
All right, here we go. Ready? And start. First thing on the checklist is make sure the weather radar is off. It is. Then make sure that the tilt is up 15 degrees. Next thing, we want to make sure the transponder is to standby. It is. Make sure the air brakes are in. They are. And flaps are up. That's all great. Battery 1 and 2 on. Okay, and then we want to check to make sure that each one has at least 24 volts. So we go to battery 1. That's got 27 volts. Battery 2, about the same. So we can turn that off. Looking great. Nav lights to high intensity. That's right up there. It's really hard to see. Got it. 5 things checked. Let's take a 20-minute break. No smoking signs. You a no smoko. Where are you? Let me get this better. There we go.
For quality purposes,
No
the
smoking.
call may be monitored or recorded.
Is on. Actually, it says to put it to auto, so I'll put it to auto. Cabin emergency lighting armed. Okay. And we want to confirm that the gear is indeed down, and we have 3 green lights, and we do. Everything looks good. Parking brake. Make sure that it is pulled and to the yellow. And that looks good. We'll just confirm. Yep, looks good. Yaw damper master. Come back. There we go. Yaw damper master 1 and 2 on. Then we want the AP master and avionics A and B on. Then anti-skid, we'll put that to on. And then the yellow and green lift spoilers also to on. Down the line. The Filger's brake is 6 times longer, but only available to upper management. Heard you have a story about timeshares or something. What's that about? There's a highlight. You can check the VOD on it, John. Bus tie switches is the next thing. That's down here in the electric panel. Bus tie switches. We're going to put those both at auto. And then the standby inverter. Is that what INV stands for? And standby generator, both armed. And then Gen 1 and Gen 4, we want to make sure those are down here. We want to make sure those are off, and they are. Then the APU gen, we're going to go on and turn on. Now, by the way, I haven't used ground power in this plane. Yeah, Canuck fan, maybe. I've not used ground power, but I'm going to click it and see. Oh, there it is. Look, the little yellow cart appeared. So I went on and clicked on that, and I'm assuming, because I couldn't find anything about it, I'm assuming that I don't need to click anything else for ground power. Like, we just have ground power now. I don't have to, like, say, hey, now that it's connected, turn ground power on. But regardless, I'm turning on the other stuff through the checklist that we have. So we are turning on our APU just in case. APU gen is on, and then we need to turn the left inner pump to fuel the APU. So it's on. And then we're going to turn the APU master switch on. And then we're going to let it spool up. We'll monitor the RPM and the TGT. And then wait for the APU power available light. Probably this bottom left one here. What's the altimeter here? We can check, can't we? Is it VCBI? Is that what we're doing? Is it VCBI here? Can't remember. If so, the altimeter is 1006. All right, APU power is available. Now we can go on and turn on our APU air. And we'll turn one pack on. Yesterday we turned on pack 1, so today we'll turn on pack 2. VCBI is right. Yep, there you go. So altimeter 1006. All right. My goodness. Down the line for the next one. So now we're going to go to DC pump. And when we click on, we're going to make sure that the yellow pressure rises. Okay, that's it to the left. We're making sure it rises. And so now we can shut it off. It works. Pressure's there. And then the AC pump, we'll turn it to on and make sure that that pressure rises. That yellow pressure rises as well, and it does. So we can turn it back off. Actually, no, we want to keep that on. I don't see turning... Oh, I see. Then PTU switch on. Check that pressure as it's going up. And then once all lights have been extinguished, we can turn off the PTU and the AC pump. Hello, Ash. Then we're going to go... So, okay, so those should all be off. PTU is off. AC pump is off, and DC pump is off, okay? So now we're gonna make sure that all the engine anti-ices are on, but we'll change those later. And that the flight deck emergency lights are armed. And then we're gonna turn on the yaw damper down on the center console. All right, moving on. I was hoping that would be a... Is that... Wait. So I guess 0 might be? I don't know. So now we're going to open our doors, cargo doors, and our passenger door, and drop some stairs. San Francisco's throwing a birthday party tonight. Is that tonight, Ash? And the baby jumbo looks good. Are you talking about this plane? Is it your birthday, Ash? John, are you, by the way, John, are you here? Are you in? I don't see you. After dinner with your family. All right, Ash. Well, happy birthday. I don't see you, John. 2-6. What gate are you at? There's like 8 gates or something. I'm on the southern side. All right, let's load our fuel. What we're gonna do is going to, I gotta do this. Let's see, hold on. Let me, because you always have to do this. Hold on, I gotta, wait, is SimBrief down? Wait. That's what it is. Hold on, don't worry about drums, by the way. Oh, you can't see, there was drums. All right, hold on one second. I gotta log in. Oh, it didn't make me. Oh.
Sorry, animal. No drums! No drums!
Take that. So, that's good news. So, block fuel is 74.58. So, it's actually close. 74.58. You think they'll let me enter it? This is really janky. Oh, there you go. 0. Nope. I just want to enter in fuel. 07458. There it goes. It's weird that it blinks. And now it says all zeros. That's really weird how it blocks out. Block fuel for those holding short of 22 is 9,900. That seems like a lot. Okay, well, it keeps blinking, and so it's messing with my brain that it looks like it's not done. No. So what if... No. 07458. Enter? Enter. We hit enter. All right. So fuel is loaded. Now let's double check. And there's just a little bit of fuel in the center, not much. And then we have 36 or so in each. And yeah, 37. So that looks right. So fuel is done. Down the line, we're moving on. That completed the pre-flight checklist. So now we're on the before start checklist, and we're going to make sure that we have over 2,500 PSI for our parking brake, and we do. So we don't have to do the DC pump to get that pressure back. Record-setting pace tonight, Jado says. I don't want to go too fast, because if I go too fast, how can I beat it tomorrow night? Make sure the thrust levers are in fuel off. They are. Make sure all hydraulic switches are off. Let's do a different camera angle. There we go. All hydraulic switches are off. So off, 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 off. Those are good. Then the center tank transfer. We want to make sure that it is auto, because we do have a little bit of fuel in the middle. Pressurization mode. We're going to do a couple things with this. So we're going to make sure that this is set to auto, this button here where it says mode, make sure that's to auto, and that the discharge valve is set to normal. They are. And now we're going to set our altitude pressurization for our cruising altitude, which tonight is 30,000 feet, 300. This plane, you see 30 right here in the middle. This apparently stops when we get to 29 because anything after that is the same. So we just go max. Then ice detect, we're going to go on and turn on. And then we've already confirmed our fuel gauges, so those are done down the line. So this is where we would contact ATC and pick up IFR because we're going to have to enter in, you know, information for the flight. By the way, is that bad weather? That's just that one cloud.
Best friends. Yep.
Some bad
Long
clouds.
time no see, everyone.
Wow, Ariel. Oh my gosh, where have you been? Where have you been? Thank you for the 14. Glad you're here. How are you doing? We're trying a new plane, Ariel. This is the second night we've ever done it. It's not easy. So, we're now going to do our transponder. We're going to click this. Wait, it's not on. Nothing's on. Nothing is on. Been a busy and stressful month. Hope you're okay. Why is that transponder not on? And it is... Oh, wait. This shouldn't matter. No, that shouldn't matter. Lots of new management changes at work and had to help pick up the slack. Of course you did. Okay, so that is working. Why isn't it showing any let's test. Odd. Did you ever ride the Garfield ride at Kennywood? No. Never went to Kennywood. Don't know what Kennywood is. So none of my buttons are working on my squawk. I don't know why. Very strange, but you know what? I want to see. There's that button. For ground power. And now that's working. That's strange. But my APU was on. Although the APU is at 0. APU gen is on. Left inner fuel pump is on. Oh, Bryce, I won't get a CTD with this, I don't think. It's not black screens. APU... I thought... Oh, that's strange. I thought maybe maybe the ground power overrides the APU? Oh my gosh, Dwayne. What's going on? Thank you for the raid, Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. How are you doing? Long time no see. We are flying this beast. This 146 is old. Well, it's not old, I guess. It's not used all over the world anymore, but... Trey, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here. Thank you so much. Spuds, Get Her Done, Cat Girl. Dwayne, thank you again. Shadow Wolf, good evening. Thanks, everybody. Hope you all had a great stream. We're trying to start this plane up. Faster than we did last night. And,
We got one!
Cat Girl, thanks for the follow. well. So yeah.
We got one!
Ikim Navilis 1979. I'm probably saying that wrong. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. Thanks, everybody. Goodness sakes, thank you all. Rose, welcome back, Rose. So yeah, I'm trying to
We got one!
trying to see if I can remember how to do this plane. But it's difficult. Tree, thanks for the follow, Tree. And Mike, welcome, Mike. Give me a second. I think the APU won't work till the GPU is disconnected. Is that true with this plane? So that maybe when I hooked up the ground power cart, it replaced it. It doesn't, you can't use both? I didn't realize that. I hadn't found any information about this, about the ground power cart. The flight, the one I was doing, oh, you know what? I'm just making it up anyway. Because British Airways doesn't make this flight. We're flying this old plane. I say it's old, but it's not that old. We're flying this to Maldives from Sri Lanka. Because normally we've been doing VATSIM lately, and I don't do VATSIM in this area, so I thought, well, this will be a good area to do it in. Just to fly and not have to worry about VATSIM. So hopefully it'll be a pretty flight. Yes, the goal was, could I get this plane off the ground from now in an hour and 10 minutes? And we were moving pretty well. Your auntie is from Sri Lanka. That is awesome. You used to see these fly out of over here all the time? Nice. All right, well, so transponder's done. It's to Tara. We're moving on. So now we're going to mess around a little bit with the TMS. We're going to power it on. This is the throttle management system, I think. Sorry, Mikey. Cheers. Your Annie Potts We Got One is how I started doing chill flights. I turned your audio down and started playing royalty-free chill music. Are you saying you don't like the We Got One? You turned it down? It's not the too much sex calculator, Mom, but no. So we're going to test it. So it's cycling through all 4 engines. Then it's going to cycle through takeoff, maximum climb thrust, and then I forgot TGT. That's something temperature, and then descent. So there's this thing kind of manages. It's not an auto throttle because it won't auto throttle, but it will help apparently. So we've just tested. Now we're going to adjust the outside air temperature. The outside air temperature is right here, and it looks like that's about 28. This says 26, so I'm going to adjust that to 28. Back then you were getting like 50 in 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dwayne. Okay, well that's not the case anymore, Dwayne. Hollow Point. Good evening, Hollow Point. All right, moving on. So that's the temperature. Then we're going to arm takeoff mode. And so now when we arm takeoff mode, based on the temperature, we have an N% of 89.1. Then we're going to set the max temperature to 840. That's my understanding is that should be like the maximum temperature for the TGT. I need to learn what TGT stands for. So then we're going to set the N1 to 89.1 on engine 1. Okay, we're gonna move this to 89.1.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Missed ya fligatine.
Wow, Dwayne.
He rock.
Thank you for the 4 months, Dwayne. Thank you again for the raid and the sub. Glad you all stopped back in. Thank you all so much. And then the TGT is 840, so we're going to move that all the way up. Do it like this. There we go. 840 is what we're going for. So this is just engine 1. They've got a way to sync all the engines to be the same. So then we'll click. So you can see right now they've got a yellow bug here and a red bug here and a white bug hiding behind this dial. As soon as I hit this flip chart, all those bugs are going to be adjusted. Boom. To our different, like our V speed for takeoff. So, you know, you've got your takeoff speed here. You've got your, I believe that's the top in 1%, and then maybe the bottom. I'm going to learn about that someday. TGT is turbine gas temperature. Thank you, Mike. This is only the second night I've flown this plane, so I'm still way behind. All right, and then I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna sync. Oh, they already did. I don't have to. Never mind. Thanks, you guy. I don't have to sync. Apparently when I clicked that flip chart, it did. So if you notice, all of these say 89 now, and all of these say 840. Okay? So we can go on and turn off the TMS because we don't want that to be on when we're turning on the engines. Taxi to the runway, and now I'm shutting down my engines while I wait. You don't have to do that. Down the line. Moving down the line of our checklist. Flight director bars on. That's here. And here. And then we're going to go on and turn on our nav radio. We'll adjust the ILS frequency later. We don't know what that is yet. We're going to rotate the DME knob to on. I don't know if I need to do that yet. Oh, there it goes. It took a second. Okay, there it goes. The runway heading of this airport. Let's do this. Let's pull up charts. Oh, it did need to do that. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Give me a second. I wish you didn't have to do this every night. Fly-by-wire figured out how to avoid it. Maybe Just Flight will figure it out as well. Oh, don't worry, Ariel. It's on purpose. Okay. So the airport we are departing from is VCBI, which is Colombo. The other word is Bandaranaike. And let's look here. 2 for the ILS, 108.7. What do you mean 2 for the ILS? .7.
Change. You got change?
I'm in danger.
85, 95, $1.
Thanks, Canuck fan. Thank you, Canuck fan. Okay, moving on. So our runway that we are departing from is 22. So it's 220. So I am going to enter our heading of 220 right off the bat.
Putting it in the vault. I'm locking the vault. It's a vault!
Okay. Just to have it in there. Now, I could... Can I do it with this too? I might do it with this too just for the heck of it. See what it does. Moving on. Select altitude. Well, we don't have ATC. Okay? But let's find out what they might tell us. So the SID that we're doing is Lalum 1D. And probably with the Aniv transition, if that's one. Oh my god.
Flight 209er, you are cleared to take off.
Roger.
LA departure frequency 123.9.
Roger.
Thank you, Raven.
West Vector, over.
Nice.
Flight 209er, clear for
Thank you.
vector
Brace yourself.
324.
You have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
So, the charts for us don't have anything other than transition altitude is 11,000. So I'm going to go on and set the transition altitude at 11, just so I know when we get to here is when we'll change over to standard pressure.
Change. You got change.
Sure.
Thank you, Mikey. You all are trying to distract me. It's working.
95. $1.
Thank you.
Thanks, mister.
Thanks, mister.
Bay, 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 bay.
Is that enough bays? Altitude arm is done. Then we'll set the HSI source to RNAV, and then we'll make sure that COM 1 and 2 are set. Normally, we would use this for VATSIM, but since we don't have it, we'll just do like 122.8.
Is it me you're looking for?
Down the line. Oh man, we're moving.
Okay. So the game of yellow car is that you look at the cars as they come along. Yellow car.
Yellow car.
And if you see a car that's yellow, you say yellow car.
You say yellow car. Okay. All right. To FMS time. We're at 31 minutes. We have to take off in less than 1 hour. World record pace. Don't tell Blue Yonder.
Waffles,
He'll try to
waffles, waffles.
He'll try to have this plane up in the air in under 32 minutes. Index. Next page. Route menu. Flight plan recall. And now they're asking me which Aniv. Oh no. Well, I don't know. How am I supposed to live without you? How am I supposed to know which coordinate Aniv is? It's the first one? Thank you. Execute. Okay, let's look at flight plan and legs. See, I don't have a screen to show me my flight plan, like how it looks. So we're gonna hope it works. I don't think that's 255 miles away. Whoa. Canuck. Thank you for the gift sub to Crustacean and Meredith. Goodness sakes. Thank you, Canuck fan. Very nice of you. This is where Fleet of the Air does eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's in the manual. The departure plates should tell you your first few, but they might vector you instead of depending on traffic. There's not going to be any vectors here. I'm looking at the chart out of here, and it should be pretty easy. The problem is, Aniv is like only 100 miles away. Let me show you. Oh man, that's wonky. Okay, so click on. I wish you could star charts in this iPad, but you can't. So we're doing the Lalum 1D. Yeah. So this is, like you can see, 38 miles here. So 38 plus 20 plus 20, that's 78 plus 44. It's like 140. So I worry.
I'm talking to you.
That's not correct.
Where'd you get that pretty little guy?
78. Oh, come back. There we go. I wish I knew which Aniv that really is. Because I don't know if that one was correct. I just don't know. But I guess... So that says distance 420, which is about right. There won't be another Aniv that close. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you. So let's do departure. We are doing runway 22, and then we're doing this Lalum 1D. Okay. And execute. And then go to legs there. And we've got 2 Lalums, but one of them 0 miles. Huh. Which Lalum? I think we get rid of this one. Still 420, so that should be okay. We'll find out, won't we? Again, I don't have the benefit of a map that shows the flight plan. Unless... This is going to crash it, isn't it? Can I bring up this? That does not show the flight plan. Saxman, good evening. How are you?
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Well, I just wanted to see if they showed the flight plan. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. Saxman, how are you doing? All right, well, so, okay. We will put in the approach. We'll put in the approach into Mali later. So, I think the FMS is done, because the FMS with this is, there's not a lot you can do with like perfs and things like that. It's just pretty much the flight plan, I think. Salty, I don't, but I'm using the app. You can't see it, but I'm using the app as well. The app runs a lot faster. Lazowitz, I don't need to. It's all done. It's all done. I don't need to. Saxman, are you flying with us tonight? Guy name, good evening. So, okay, moving on. We're trying to see if we can get this bird up in the air in under 51 minutes, 37 seconds. No, Mike. No, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. It's not an hour and a half. Last night was an hour and 45. We're trying to beat it by 15 minutes. Moving on. We are moving on. So the flight plan is loaded. Now, we are on the engine start checklist. So, at this point, we would, and I want to make sure, we would request pushback and startup from ATC. So we've already talked to ATC about getting IFR clearance or picking up IFR to Mali. Thank you, Anonymous. Pushback not approved. Stand by for 50 minutes. Well, let's assume it's approved. Brace yourself. Just for fun. Let's assume they approved us for pushback and startup. So now we're going to retract the stairs, but we can't. We have to do hydraulics. In order to retract the stairs, we have to turn the AC pump to on, then retract the stairs. There they go. I love the stair animation. I don't know why. Okay. And now turn that AC pump back off. Back off, man. I'm a scientist. And then close the cargo doors. Close the passenger door.
I'm a scientist.
Thank you, John. Now, I am a little concerned. The APU is on, but when I turned external power on, it negated the APU. I'm hoping that as soon as I disable external power, the APU stays on. This could be bad because I think everything's on with the APU. So external power off, ground power disengaged. And again, my transponder is gone. Yaw damper is gone. What's up, Max Attack? So I don't know. That's a good time for the tuba too. I mean, like everything is on that needs to be, right? The APU gen is on. So I'm gonna have to look into that because I'm not sure what the appropriate method is because I had APU on, you guy. And then ground power. Chalk's removed. Thank you, you guy. Chalk's removed. I don't know. I mean, there's things that aren't on and there are things that are on. I don't know why my transponder's not on, but I guess we'll redo that when the engines come on. So fasten belts on, beacon light on, APU air off, confirm both packs off.
If you see a car that isn't yellow, then yellow car, you don't say anything. And if you see something that is yellow but isn't a car, you don't say anything either.
Hey, why don't you come over here and sit on my lap?
They do move in herds. Thank you, Devious.
Nice.
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 What?
Parking brake released. Thank you, Mikey. There's no gun 5. Begin pushback.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Honk. Ooh, look at that 737 business class Fliggity Air. You know that's a good flight right there. We're very jealous of the passengers over on the Fliggity Air Elite. All right. Let's get this pushback. Some things will run off the engine generators. Well, why isn't my transponder coming on? Isn't that something that should just be on? The Elite and their 2.5 bean coffee. Bunch of snobs. What's up, Storkman? Have you loaded the Filgers and waffles? What, do you think this is Fliggity Airlines? We can't afford that stuff. That's over there on that plane. Reset. We're over here just low 1 bean coffee. Fliggities. Waffles. Foul.
For many good reasons. We got one.
We haven't seen those in a while. You guy, another you guy. Thanks for the follow, you guy. Ooh, that's odd.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Boy. You guy, thank you for the sub. Second account just showing the love. Well, that's very nice of you, you guy. Goodness sakes. Wow. Thank you for that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. CTD right when Flig taxied out. Is that true, Icy? You CTD'd? Is it because I taxied? Let's keep moving. Begin pushback done. So now we're going to turn on all fuel pumps. And let's get some of these engines going. Do we get to splurge on the syrup? I mean, you brought your own, right? So we're gonna put this at normal. It is, start power is at normal. We're gonna turn start master to on. Rotate this to engine 4. And we're gonna hold this for about a second. I didn't see any lights come on. Oh dear. Let's try again. Is it because I didn't do throttles off of fuel? Well, Armafera, you would think so, but we might have issues. Do I have... I thought I didn't have to do throttle to fuel on. Did I have to do that? Confirm in advance to oh, no. Yeah, it should work. That should work. Okay. We're at 4. that's on. Hold this for 1 second. Is your APU running? No, it's not. You're right, but that's so weird. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why that shut off. Sorry, I've been cooking din din. That's okay. That's okay. It's my fault. I thought my APU was on from earlier, but I guess it shut off when we hooked the ground power up. And that's just me not knowing. Okay, so APU power is now available. Now. And there it goes. So we're waiting for the N2%, which is down here, to get to 10, which it's already almost to 20. Once you do that, we move that throttle up. Okay. And then we just keep doing that. We go now to 3. And then we watch for this one to get to 10. And now we move that one up. And then we go to 2. And now that we wait for that one to get to 10. Now we move that one up. And then 1.
It's time for Astro to take control of the flight.
Wow, why me? Thank you. He is a beast. You don't want him in the cockpit. He's massive. It looks like engine 2. It looks like engine 2 and 3 didn't go. So maybe I did that too fast. You switched too quickly. Yeah. Apparently I did. All this talk about Astro has me giving that thing we talked about second thoughts. He's a wonderful puppy, Saxman. He just requires your full attention. No, the sequence...
It's so easy, a caveman could do it.
What's up, caveman? So no, Evil, it's 4, 3, 2, 1. I did do it in the right order. I just apparently did it too fast.
That's amazing. I got the same combination on my luggage.
4, 3, 2, 1, right, Walk Ninja. Caveman, how are you doing? No, I'm looking at I'm trying to see if Saxman can dog sit in July. My family is, there we go. We're doing a vacation first week in July. It's one that we usually do, but couldn't go last year because of my sister having something go on, and then the year before that was COVID, and so we haven't done this vacation in like 3 years. My TBM was going reverse / forward, back and forth on its own. Sounds like you've got something that's already bound. You'll be dog sitting and streaming on my behalf. Oh God. Oh, that's scary. Okay, So I did these too quick. But it's going now. He's been planning that since last night. All right, so all 4 are done. Now we're going to put the start selector to off, and then the start master to off. Caveman. And down the line, engine anti-ice we will not need, so we're going to turn it off. Gen 1 and Gen 4 on. Okay, APU air on. Pack switches on. Okay, we're going. There's Joey Bolo.
You can see he starts off nice with a little paradiddle into a rolling Tiffany, and right there, boom, hi-hats himself.
Brake fans to auto. They're all the way up here. Engine 2 and 3 hydraulic pumps. How am I supposed to do this? I have to drum. How am I supposed to focus? Engine 2 and 3.
You couldn't play anything else. Shut up.
Hydraulic pumps. They are right. Where are you? Where are you? They're way up here. Yes, yes, yes. So 2 and 3 on. And confirm that they're running at 3,000 PSI. That one's over 3. And that one's over 3. AC pump on. PTU on. TMS. Now that the engines are on, we can turn the TMS on. And takeoff mode armed. Now they're saying the N% is 91.4. Wonder if that's interesting. It's different than earlier. And now let's make sure, yes, the transponder did come back on, and we have the British Airways 1976 still in. Now, make sure we're on Tara, and it is. Now we would request taxi with information, and we would do that at the 56-minute mark, requesting taxi with information. Looks like we are 10-10. For the altimeter. There we go. Information Delta is active. Well, I don't have any information. I'm not on VATSIM. Right. Oh, man, moving right along. The issue is the flying. I'm telling you. It's echo now. Go back and listen again. Okay. You listen and you tell me. Flaps. Set position 18. Looks like the V2 speed for 18 degree takeoff is 146. Taxi lights on. This one I haven't done before. This is I didn't even see it, but apparently you click this. And I guess it automatically does your takeoff trim. So I'll assume that worked. That says 0%, so I don't think that worked. But you're supposed to click this and it work. But it still says 0%, so I don't know. Oh, wait. It could be this elevator trim. And now that should be right because it's in that marker. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, there's no water on the runway. We don't need to deal with the Cont IGN. Now we're going to do a cabin call. And let me mute this. Okay, never mind. I think that was it. So they just secured the cabin. Now we again confirm that the TMS is on. It is. It's takeoff. The N1 ref is shown. 91.4. Controls unlocked. Make sure that we can move everything. Looks good. And now we make our way to the runway. Can't get PNVG 737 to work with Air Manager, even most of my honeycomb controls. Yeah. The Bravo. That's the one thing that's nice about this 146 is that a lot of this works with the Bravo. The 737, like my parking brake button doesn't work. None of the switches work. The autopilot doesn't work. I mean, the 737 is still a wonderful plane. Hopefully they will make it more compatible with the Bravo.
Putting it in the vault. I'm locking the vault. It's a vault!
Frames are really good in this. So I tried to watch some videos on how to properly take off with this plane. With autopilot and vertical speed and sync mode. There's a lot going on. I think last night, if you all remember correctly, last night I was trying to adjust my descent with the sync mode. Apparently, you're supposed to hold your sync mode button, the one combined with or assigned to Afterburner. You're apparently supposed to hold that button and then let go, and whatever you let go at is what it is. But I thought what you all were saying last night was that you press the button, do your maneuver, and then press it again. But I think you just hold it. So we're going to find out tonight if that is the case. I anticipate the flying portion of this to be a disaster, but hopefully we had a better idea of what we were doing getting the plane up and running. We're an hour and 2 minutes. Last night we got off the ground in an hour and 45. It does take me a lot of time to think. Don Sweeper, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Mr. P and Amplify were definitely saying press as a toggle. Maybe it depends on how it's bound. Okay. That's true. That's true. Aviation King, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Maybe it is how it was bound. The video I saw, he held it. However, he was doing X-Plane. So I might, here in a second, I might press it just to see what it does. My throttle keeps getting stuck. This sim is difficult. Where are you, John? Are you on the ground still with us? I don't see your name. I really like this plane. It's a really cool plane. Let me see what happens when I do this. So interesting. Do you see that? So pressing it, and yeah, you're right. It's not hold. See, I tapped it and it's still in white. Then you let go. You hit it again. So it is both. Screw the line. Go, go, go. I mean, we got 27 minutes. Look, there's John. All right, John, we're watching you. Go ahead, John. We'll watch you. Let's do it, John. I can't wait. There he goes. There he goes.
No pain.
No pain.
No pain.
No pain.
No pain.
I love that he does a sound effect. Oh dear. I love that he does a sound effect while he's taking off, and he's doing this from a phone. For those who don't know, John... Oh, he's over. What a disaster. Poor John. He's using cloud service on his phone to do this. There goes Bittersweet. You needed more throttle, John. But you got off the ground way too early. All right, Walk Ninja.
Suck it, John.
That's so mean, Mikey. That's so mean. Did John get... John, did you reset? We got to get you up in the air, John. Oh, Raven. Tie a rope to my plane. I don't see John anymore. John, did you reset? John can't slew, apparently. Resetting now. You got to stay on the ground longer. Get more speed. Strobe lights on.
Where are you going? LANKA!
What's up, Jake?
Faster if you drive.
Oh man. This part we're getting ready to do is the part I'm most worried about. Knowing how to take off correctly. Now, the good news is we pretty much head straight out. So I'm just gonna try to just have a steady climb and just go straight. Victronics, or Victronox, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Jake, how are you? Resetting the Fliggity Air 737 Elite. PP, that's a good looking Alaska livery too. You in the Phoenix, PP? And there's John too. Make it happen, John. Do it, John. Anybody behind me? No. Because it took me forever. All right, John, give her some gas. Howie, I'm going to get the Toby. I'd like to get the Toby version. Exclamation mark followers. Brace yourself. Do it, John. Go, man, go. Reset's waiting for you, too. Looking at your empty diploma folder. Why is it empty?
Line in the ointment, Hans. Monkey in the wrench. Pain in the ass.
Stay on the ground, John. Stay on the ground and get more throttle. Here he goes. Stay on the ground for a while. Push that throttle. Don't lift up too early. He's got it. Look, he's doing it. Come on, you're doing it. Just right there. Don't change a thing. Look at him go.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
This is 2020, MSFS 2020, Mike. John's at 500 feet. Keep it going, John. Don't drop. All right. Look at you, John. Still up in the air. 1,100. Oh, no. 1,000. 900. 890.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
I don't even remember my name.
What's up, Joey?
It's Joey, by the way.
Okay, John. Recovered. Good, John. Keep it up in the air. Thanks, Joey. He's on a phone. Yeah, Demon Hunter. He is... He just wanted to try it. He didn't want to buy a PC for it. So he bought the $1 Game Pass. He is streaming from his Kindle. He has a PS4 controller Bluetooth to his Android phone. And he is playing it on his phone from the cloud. God bless him. He's at 3,000 feet. Look at you doing it, John. Yeah, this is 2020, Mike. We fly almost every night. Are you ready? Here we go. Wish me luck. Here we go.
TMS sets takeoff. Power set, flex and shift. Speed alive, both sides. 80 knots cross checked.
Listen to the voice. Gear up. Flaps retracted. So now we need to maintain like 190. So I'm going to drop a little bit. Drop that nose a little bit. It's supposed to be 10 degrees.
Speed checked below 205. Select flaps empty.
Too long. Here.
Trying to figure this out. Is it still descending? No, it's ascending. That's really tough. Okay, drop throttle. So, all 4 engine air switches on. Okay. APU air off. AC pump.
Oh, for God's sake, pull yourself together, man.
AC pump off. Shut down APU. Okay, what's my speed? Speed's okay. I know that was a little... we can stop the clock. We did it. No, flaps are up. Flaps are up. My concern was trying to get the autopilot and vertical speed to work in this plane. Not easy to do. So, okay, then... What's our altitude? 2,000. Let's go a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to hit IAS. Will that help? That should maintain our speed, right? Ice protection. Is that what it is? Ice protection. No, those are off. I don't need to do that. We're still climbing, yes. Okay, let me keep looking. Cabin call. I'm gonna climb a little bit more. Actually, no. We're gonna stick with it. No. Let's do it. Vertical speed. Okay. I mean, it's going. It's going. It's just tough. 30,000, yeah. Climb with the speed you're doing. Right. I need more speed. Takeoff, I should have higher percentages for my, I should be at 89. Also this, let's put this, take off. Is that not going to do it? Show me take off. Well, we'll leave that because it's not, doesn't seem to be changing. We're not synced, which is kind of weird. We should be synced. Because our climb speed isn't very good right now. Yes, Ash, only just taking off. Climb speed's only 210. We should be like 220, but let's keep moving. Let's do landing lights off. This plane, I'm slow in this plane. Fasten seat belts off. So now we want to increase the climb speed.
Roads, when we're going, we don't
So I'm going to put the nose
roads.
down a little bit. I'm going to put it down just a little. And now I want to get that speed up to 250. So I'm looking at this one over here, and as soon as we get 250, I'll hit that IAS button. We're almost there. 250. Boom. So now it should... Man, that's going. So it should stay at 250, but I'm going to drop. The throttle doesn't need to be 95%, but it is staying at 250. So that's working. Good luck, Ash. Have a good one. Use the horizon. As soon as I see 1.5, 2 degrees, I hit AP, then VS. Yeah, so Jado, I was doing the same thing, but what I'm doing now is I'm climbing at 250 knots, and so my climb rate now is almost 2,000 feet, and we're moving. So now I'm going to do TMS. I'm going to put it at MCT for maximum climb thrust. And my understanding is if my throttles aren't set correct, then here at 1, 2, 3, or 4, they'll give me a blue arrow telling me I need more throttle or a white arrow pointing down saying less throttle. So this is really just something to kind of keep us in check, but I don't see anything yet. So I guess we're doing a good job. I don't know. Never got this part of the world yet. Yeah, Bryce, pretty cool, right? Wait, is my yaw damper off? It is. Gross. So begin to lower thrust as you level off. Well, we aren't leveling off until 30,000 feet. We've pretty much gone through all of the checklist for the climb. I mean, we're rocking. The only thing is ice protection. Those are off. Is it saying this? No. It's not it either, because on my checklist, it says not to close that until we land. But why does that say ice prot? Is there another place that I missed ice protection? High above that with the bright orange lights. Yeah, you talking about this? Or are you talking about... What are you talking about? So... Oh. All of these are fails? Boom. But those are all on. Oh, heaters. Did I miss that? Where was that? All heaters on. Oh man, I missed that on the checklist. What's yelling at me? Overspeed. Oh crap! We only got to 11,000 feet. I thought we were going to 30. That's an oops. That's an oops. We are going to destroy this engine. So I'm going to go Z. We're going to pull up. I'm going to drop that a little bit. No, I don't want to hold... Oh, wait, Safa, you might be right. Might be right. Also, didn't hit LNAV. We need to add that to the checklist. LNAV to the checklist. That's why it's a first draft. Okay, flaps are definitely up. Those are up.
Flaps.
Howie, it wasn't me. That was the autopilot. They actually use it for firefighting tankers as well. What, this plane? It's a really good plane. I'm really digging this plane. It's our speed. 250. Give me that IAS. So yeah, you can see where 2, 3, and 4, engines 2, 3, and 4 are not high enough. There we go. So it showed me those arrows, the blue arrows on the TMS. How do you know when to descend? You kind of have to figure it out using a little math, Bryce. They don't have something automatically telling us. At Fliggity Air, we choose to hear all alarms and see all alerts. We pay for them and do our best to incorporate in each flight, so buckle up. I love it. Yeah, there's math involved. So, at this point, like I said, this flight, you know, from Sri Lanka to the Maldives, you know, it's water. We're just gonna be water. But we did that because I'm excited to see how the island is when we land on it. Thought this plane would be a really cool place to land it, or that location would be a really cool place to land this plane. And I also knew that we were going to be spending a lot of time with the plane and not as much time to be able to focus on the scenery, so I'm not as concerned with the water. But I feel like we've learned a ton already. Like, I'm having more luck with the sync mode. I'm having more luck with the speed, holding the speed as we climb. I'm excited. So now it's joining. Let's see. I don't know if you would be able to see it. Yeah. So I believe the Maldives are... Is that it there? I don't know if that's the one or not. No. It's not. I don't think. No, it's the one below it. Thanks, Canuck fan. Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time today working on that checklist. Speed's still good. I spent a lot of time working on that checklist and watching some videos. I don't like not knowing something, especially with people watching. I want to have a better idea of what's going on. So I tried to do a little bit. Here's our airport. This is where we're landing tonight. That's as far as they'll let me zoom in. So this is the island of Mali. Or is it Malay? Am I saying it wrong? And we're going to be coming in from this direction. We're going to be coming up, flying north, because that's the ILS that they have. So it should be a really pretty approach. Also, you know, nothing in front of or behind the runway, so kind of a small target. I let you work out the kinks. I don't generally fly tubes anyway, Sniffit says. Well, you know, we needed a little bit of time, but this is only our second flight in this plane. I mean, it's not an easy plane, but I'm telling you, I really, really like this plane. Any plane that you have to do this amount of work to, and then it works, and there's a payoff, certainly worth it. Still climbing, 21,000 feet. When I saw this plane, when I saw this right here, all these gauges, I immediately got worried. I thought, I'm not gonna be able to do this. But when you understand that they all correlate to an engine and they're all pretty much the same gauge per engine, it's not that bad. The only thing that's kind of odd to use in this is this TMS, throttle management system. But I watched a video on it and I started to learn a little bit about it, but I still don't know everything with it. But that's okay. We're getting better. You can't find VRMM chart? What do you mean you can't find the chart? How long is the runway? This runway is 10,494 feet. A very long runway. And it needs a long runway because it's out in the middle of nowhere, and most planes that are going to land on it are going to have a lot of fuel. And so they're going to be bigger planes. I thought the same thing, started questioning my purchase. Jado, are you liking it though? You're liking it, right? John, you did it? You're at 30,000 feet? Are you really? I didn't pass you, did I? Oh, I did pass you. Yeah, Jado, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. This is a very rewarding plane. I think if anybody is on the fence about this, it's really good. By the way, you haven't seen it, we'll do a flight tomorrow night in this plane, but we'll do one at night. All of these switches that look cheap and plasticky at night all light up, and they look really good. I was really surprised. So we might do a night flight tomorrow. All right, we're at 23,000, still climbing. Still rocking. Don Tat says, you're a crazy fellow. I like simple planes. I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot of payoff with this one. Yeah, I think we'll do a night flight tomorrow, Storkman. Snivet said, I think for me, main draw to purchase this plane is the price point compared to the 737. I mean, it's right there. It's the same. Listen, there's a reason that this plane is in that same price point, because it's so detailed. I love the detailed planes because, I don't know, I just like the challenge. I really do like the challenge, and I will say, if I wasn't doing this, and this is probably true, if I wasn't doing this with you all, I probably wouldn't be as motivated. So I'm glad I'm doing this on stream because it keeps me. It's the same thing like back in the day when I used to stream and we would do a lot of retro games. John knows. When we would do a lot of retro games, there were plenty of games that I would have quit. I would not have completed. But because I was streaming, I kept going. You all know how many games you've started and not finished. But when you stream a game, you're like, well, I guess I'm going to finish it. It's kind of like this with the planes. Like, you want to learn how to fly this plane. There's enough payoff. But that is why I like watching your streams. I don't have to learn the complicated ones. I'm sure, Don Tap. Cayman says, will you be streaming this Friday? Yes. Yes, I will be streaming Friday. Saturday, undecided. I don't know yet about Saturday. We are really close to, and I can't believe this, we are so close to 5,000 followers.
Put it in the vault. I'm locking the vault. It's a vault.
And I don't know yet what we're gonna do. DeWagon, thanks for the follow. Welcome. I don't know what we're gonna do yet for the 5,000, but I have some ideas. We'll see. We'll see. I have one idea that I'm going to throw out, and We'll see. John said, holy crap, I'm flying no hands. I adjusted my pitch wheel. And that's a good plane, John, that TBM 930. I don't want to say what I'm thinking of doing because I don't want to commit to something and then not do it. So, no, she wouldn't want to do that, Devious. She would not care. It would not, no. How many are real? That's a great question, Bryce. Are you real, Bryce? Bryce, type in the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Prove it. ILS, Devious. Have Astro fly a plane? No, she just doesn't care, Mamba. Holding steady at 189 knots. That's too slow, John. Give it a little bit more throttle. By the way, the frames in this plane are also beautiful. Compared to what we were dealing with the Phoenix, so very, I mean, look how smooth. Although it might not be smooth for you all, it's really smooth. Bryce is real. Okay, Bryce. Oh, no, not a 24-hour GeoGuessr stream, no. No, not a 24-hour GeoGuessr stream. I have an idea, but we'll see. I gotta pose some questions about it first. This is a great looking plane, especially the air brake. Yeah. So the thing is, here's the thing, and I didn't realize this. So you have your air brake here, right? When you drop it to the out position, so it goes, so the back of the fuselage, the tail fans out, all right? But if you keep going all the way down to lift spoiler, which we'll do when we land, then the actual spoilers on the wings come out. So, a little different. No, Bryce, I removed the bots. Bryce, any bot follow we've gotten where we've gotten multiple bot follows, I've removed. Might pick it up until we can get a high fidelity 747. That would be cool. 740, a big old 747 that's legit. Okay, so we are nearing 30,000. I'm gonna drop throttle as we level off. Not too much. Let's give it a little bit more. Got to get up to that 30,000. There we go. Not too much. Barrow set to standard. Thank you for barrow set to standard. Thank you. Okay, we are still climbing. Just barely. I don't want to overdo it. I'm trying to be gentle. How do you refuel? Well, I've created a key bind combination. It was like Control-Alt-F that I did, but you might. Oh, John, what you do is you go to the top. Can you go to the top and hit this fuel button? Then hit this, and then just drag that slider. That's what you want. A little bit more throttle. Got to get up to that. You know what? Let's just hold there. So we're going to do... altitude hold is already there. Okay. Okay, now what about TGT? 840. So I'm just going to make sure we don't overspeed. I'm going to drop. Those are way too high. Yes. We are at 30,000 feet and holding. Yeah, John, you use most of your fuel on the climb anyway, so I don't think you would necessarily need any. All right, now that we're at cruising altitude, we can start to talk about our approach. We have 228 miles until the next waypoint, and probably about 200 miles to top a descent or so. But let's do this. Let's go to departure arrival. We are going to do ILS 36 Zulu. And then we're going to look, if we go over here, go to OFP. There's our route. All right, so there it is. You can see 36. And then it doesn't look like there are any stars here. Is that true? I feel like that's not true. So I'm gonna look at the other nav graph chart where it will work quicker. So 36, and then approach 36 Zulu, and then stars. There are stars. Okay, so it's the Dopdo, but it says D3A. So that's a little confusing the way they make that look. There is actually a Dopdo 3A. Are we overspeeding? Crap. Crap. This thing. Pretty brutal. So you can see the blue arrows here are all telling me, these are telling me that my throttle's too low. So let's go a little bit more. Unless TGT isn't the one you want for cruise. Tomorrow we're going to be nighttime, Iceberg. Did you set the speed limiter? There is not an auto throttle in this plane. Slow down. Here's the speed brake. Yep, so there's no auto throttle in this plane. So we just have to really... And that's the thing about this plane, it's so easy to not pay attention and look down and all of a sudden you're going 300 knots. I love that John is doing this. John, second night and you're rocking. Just right behind me.
A few moments later.
So, looking at this, we're going to do the... Now, this says Dopta 2A. So maybe not... maybe not updated? Maybe not updated. So it's asking me D160L. This is what Bryce was asking earlier, I think. Yeah, but Crustacean, I updated it recently. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, it can be that high, John. Yeah. John, that plane can go that high easily. So which transition? We're going to use Raxon. We're going to use the Raxon transition. It came out the other day. That's my fault. Yep, that's my fault. I haven't updated it if it was that recent. Let's do Raxon. Execute. And then I look up here hoping to see a flight plan. You just gotta hope that it's right. So legs, there's discontinuity. Let's clear. Execute. There's 2 Dopdos. We're gonna, clear. That one. Unable to clear a waypoint. Okay. I don't think it will matter, will it? But it won't let me delete that one. What's my speed? 220. But my ground speed is 377. Can you see your ground speed? 376. Your plane is faster than mine, John. Just delete the second one. Oh, you can't delete the active waypoint. I mean, are they both the exact same? I don't like that they're different locations, 003 and 250. Is it? I mean, I don't know. I don't like the idea that there's 2 different ones, but they're 2 different locations. I wanted to get rid of the one that said 0 nautical miles. So should I leave them both? 322 ground speed, 203 airspeed, but my altimeter is off. Does that affect speed rating? No. No, it only affects elevation. They're the same. Okay. Clear. Okay, and then it changed the heading and miles there, so that's fine. Then we have another discontinuity. And that doesn't look like a vectored type discontinuity, so I think that'll be okay to delete. And I think we're going to be good. So this says... It doesn't give you the total. 182. We have, 182 miles to Dopdo. Then 63, so 240, 256, 259, about 270 miles. So what we need to do, I'll pull it up on this. We're doing 3A. So we're going to be coming in from Dopdo here. And then we're going to be hitting that Raxor or whatever it was transition and then go down, like straight up into the airport. But if we look at... This is the ILS chart. We should go on and enter some information here too. Glide slope is at 2,000 feet. And that's at FF 36. There's FF 36. So we need to figure out how long it's going to take to descend from 30,000 to 2,000. That's 28,000 feet. And I am not very good at this. So I'm going to cheat. probably going to descend about 75 miles before. That might be a little longer, but I don't want to take a chance. 1 nautical mile for every 1,000 feet. Oh, my controller doesn't die. 28 minutes at 1,000 FPM. Divide from there. Well, 28 minutes at 1,000 FPM. Well, but we're going to be descending at about 1,500 or so. John, you're up in the air. It shouldn't matter. Ooh, that angle of attack sucks. All right, it's because our speed is bad. Yep, our throttle's too low. Like, we shouldn't have an angle of 10 degrees. Morning, Helipilot. So I'm not, yeah, public safety, Dan, I'm not worried about the amount of time. I want the distance. Yeah, so I think we're going to descend at 1,500 feet a minute. Yeah, Bryce, no problem. And we're going to start about... Yeah, I'll probably start about 90 miles before. That's fine. That's fine. We can do that. So 90 miles. I mean, we have 156, 63, 16. Are we going to descend at Dopto? 63. That's 83. That's close. We'll descend a little bit before Dopto. Well, my airspeed is like Mach 0.53. I don't know my, other than my like 200 knots, I'm not sure. If I could get this performance on a PC, I'd be happy. Yeah, John. Yeah, if it's running that well on your phone, that's pretty crazy. Yes, 2,000 crustacean. We're going to be, that gets us to the glide slope. Your ground speed reads 333. Yeah, but he was asking, crustacean was asking airspeed. Said ground speed, but then corrected. I think this plane looks really good. There are some low-res textures, but to make the frames as smooth as they are, I'm good with that. 104 miles at 1,500. Okay, so 104 miles. So that means I'd have to start descending with about 20 miles left on the 147. I'd have to start descending around 20 or so left, maybe 25. That looks right. Little nav map has my top of descent 90 miles before. So I'll descend a little bit before that. How much longer? Because you're going too slow. It's probably going to take us... I mean, John, there's still 250 miles left for me. 250.
Not a game, not a game, not a game.
Good luck, Bryce. ...260 miles at 200 knots. You're going too slow. That plane can go so much faster, John. Why is it going so slow? I mean, that TBM 930 can move. I wonder if there was something that prevented that plane from going faster. Was it like he's at 30,000 feet? Well, I mean, that should be fine, right? Yeah, your flaps are up, right? Does the flap bar on third-person view go up or down? Both. Crustacean, I have a website that I can do it through. I have a website. It's the freedomair.us, if that's the one you're talking about. Speaking of website. With your new ground speed, it's saying 124 miles for top of descent. Well, my ground speed is hauling. It's too much. We got to be careful. You're ready to overspeed again. This thing is so easy to overspeed. In your studies of this aircraft, did you see what ceiling altitude is? You know what? I didn't. But when I go in SimBrief, there we go with the overspeed. When I put it in SimBrief and I choose this plane, it gives me the altitude of 30,000. Yesterday it gave us 31,000. So I'm assuming those are okay. In the documentation that comes with the plane, the tutorial is set for 24,000. Crustacean says 350 is the service ceiling. Thank you. I really, really struggle to keep this plane from overspeeding. Devious, I just saw your message. I just saw your message. And you would have been certainly fine to do that. But I just saw it. Oh, yes. John, turn that inert sep off. That's slowing you down. Yes. Turn that thing off. Isn't there a switch behind your yoke? The inert sep is supposed to be only used for takeoff, for like if a bird goes in your engine or something, right? So I'm going to start descending. I'm going to start descending with about 30 miles left on this where it says 94. Yeah, Devious, I'm sorry. I just saw that. I mean, right when I went live, I wasn't watching Discord anymore. What's the sea level of this airport? It is... I mean, it should be 0. Wait, does that say 600? There's no way that's 600. 6 feet. 6. A little ground for the dirt underneath the runway. Descent rate should be about 2,000. Okay. Hold on, John. Let me see if I can find it for you. You found it. Thank you, John. Okay, good. I don't have to look anymore. All right, so we're going to descend in about 47 miles or so. Iceberg redeemed the commercial. All right, we'll do it quick. 2 Cirque du Soleil tickets, 2 high roller tickets, and 2 buffet tickets. Who will sign up? We can get you those rewards. And breakfast, $340 worth of stuff. You'll get your rewards. Sign up. Studies have proven that people that go on vacation are less prone to having heart disease. Whole suite with a balcony. I mean, it was 1,000 square foot suite in Vegas. I mean, it's like platinum. You know, the penthouse overlooking the strip. Get this vacation and it will make you live longer. You won't really reap the benefits until 10 to 20 years down the road when the loan is paid off. It's kind of dark. Like, there are people that really want to do it. Your kids could have access to it after you're gone. They have a great place to stay. I mean, super nice, like being in like a 5-star hotel. It's super nice. It's not a scam. It's just a shitty deal. It's just a shitty deal. How was it? Bad. Oh, it was bad. Okay. Awful. All right. So I'm getting some things together before we descend. Our weather at VRMM. The altimeter is 1011. 1011. So we'll put that in. Where do you sign up for a Fleeta Resort timeshare? I think they're all booked at this point, aren't they? I don't remember. So we have our ATIS, our altimeter. The ILS frequency is already in, 108.7. We'll reduce our speed. We'll set our altitude at 2,000. There we go. We're starting to slow down too much. Gotta be careful. Look how much it drops. Oh, it's so bad. Engines are at 101% red flashing engine warning, but I can't crack 204 knots. I mean, you might have a headwind, John. There could be a headwind. I mean, we are flying west. But I don't know. Biggest challenge after this is, can we descend correctly? Yesterday we could not descend correctly. So we'll find out. Have Scotty check the dilithium crystals. Okay, descending in about 20. We'll see. There's a little turbulence. Little turbulence. Last night we had some really bad turbulence. I hope this airport we're landing at, you know, is pretty. I mean, it's all going to be generic, but maybe it'll look decent. I was really hoping there would be a good, like, scenery pack for this location, because it's just an island. But maybe they'll have a tropical type update, not just one area, but like a ton of different areas that all include tropical areas. All right, 13 miles maybe. Careful with that throttle. Hoping for hot tubs. Just got a text from Walmart saying I'm qualified for a job for $4K a month. Walmart in Australia. Wait, you all don't have Walmarts? Brace yourself. Do you really not have Walmarts in Australia? Salty, I checked it out. It didn't look very good. I didn't know if it would be worth it. Oh, we got to descend. Okay, here we go. We're going down to 2. I should have already had this selected. 2. And then we're going to go VS, and then I'm going to do Z. And I'm going to go down just a little bit. I'm going to drop this throttle. Send a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to drop throttle. And that's looking good. So I've got this right at the 2 mark, descending right at 2,000. Just got to be careful. Let's use speed brake or air brake just to try to get this. We want to get this around 250. That's looking good. That was, you know, it's weird. The sync function is working much better tonight than it was last night. Dropping that to 250. And then just... oh, you know another thing? We're going to click descent. Yeah, and so you've got these white arrows. Telling us to drop even more. Okay, there we go, there we go. Okay, so you can use this TMS and watch these to see if your throttle needs to increase or decrease. Speed's a little fast. I'm still going to use a little bit of speed brake. Still 2,000 feet. That's looking great. Okay, now that that's going, let's see what else. Descend mode, we've done. PTU. Come back. PTU mode is on. Now we're going to do our altitude target for cabin pressure. So we're going to put this back to 0. And then we're going to check this flip chart. By the way, just make sure as I do this, I don't want to let everything get out of hand. Still 250. We're doing great. So the flip chart says when we land, our VREF, our speed for landing is going to be 127. So full flaps, 127 is what we're going to shoot for. Descent mode is not a mode that sets a specific engine performance. What it does is limit the minimum RPM based on altitude in order to ensure minimum bleed air. Safa, I wish I could say I would remember that, but I won't. But I appreciate it. I won't remember it. It limits RPMs based on altitude in order to ensure the minimum bleed air. Still don't get it. Explain it to me like I'm 8. Went into a spin, use the autopilot, left joystick, click to recover, but it sends me east. Click nav mode on your autopilot. I see you at 22,000 feet, John. All right. Speed is still good. Altitude's still good. We're now at 22.5. Okay. Now, there is a lot to do on the approach and landing checklist. I just have to make sure I can do it quick enough. It just makes sure the power does not go too low so that bleed systems remain operational. Okay, so it just makes sure the power doesn't go too low. But it does, like right now, you can see it does tell me like my throttles are too high on 3 and 4. Now they're okay. By the way, we still have a ton of fuel. That seems kind of odd. Why do we have so much fuel left? I mean, we've hardly used any fuel. Flew to the wrong airport? No. What's going on, Amplify? Tonight's been a lot better. I spent a lot of time today, Amplify, creating my own checklist. I put it in Discord. I went through and made my own checklist, and it's pretty expansive and it shows me where everything is if I have a question. However, after going through the hours and hours that I did on the checklist and watching some videos as well, I was able to know where most of it was. We're doing a lot better. Simbri figured it was going to be engines on the whole time, not 1.5 hours before engines on. Yeah, Armafera. Morning, Captain Gio. Landed in this airport. It's not perfect on Xbox. Well, Bryce, it's probably not going to be perfect here either. And I think that might be it right there. But we still have to go all the way around and in. I'm excited so far. Amplify, like it's been a really good flight so far. The sync function has worked a lot better for me. The sync function has actually worked tonight. It got me to this 2,000 here. I think I was probably making too big of an adjustment with yoke last night. So we're much better tonight. Your landing sucked at 325? I would be okay with that. What's the runway? 36. I forgot to make a flight plan or learn the plane at all. 36. Just follow me, John. There's our island. Right there. It's exciting. Well, Captain Geo, they're like lawnmower engines. Apparently they're not very strong. It's a very different plane, but really rewarding. Oh, totally agree. I was saying earlier how rewarding this plane is. Like, I tried to understand more about the TMS. And last night when I flew it, I left it on takeoff the entire time. I had no idea what I was doing. But after watching a little bit last night, I mean, I'm still not there. Man, we are...
Can you fly this plane and
we are still over speeding.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Still over speeding by a lot. You can't tell how far behind you are? Well, how many miles are you from the airport? Where do we park? Is it that small? Is it the airport? No, there's no way the airport is that small. Wait. Where? Okay, this is an issue. This is an issue. This is a different... This is doing different than LNav. Or I'm sorry, the little nav map. Little nav map is showing that I'm way off course. But according to this, we're doing great. So I'm maybe little nav map. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You see more names? Well, it's probably because they're all parked at the airport. They're not moving and you are.
Flight 209er, you're clear for takeoff.
Roger.
Oh, man.
LA departure frequency 123.9er.
Roger. Fine. Request vector. Over. What?
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
This is
Roger.
wrong.
Vector, Victor.
I am not going the right way. Something is wrong. And I don't know what it is. We may or may not be doing great, but we're having fun. We are having fun. All right, landing lights. So let me see if I can show you this. Here's the problem. Here's what I'm concerned about. I'm supposed to be going down here, but I'm going straight at the airport, and I don't know why. This is saying I still have 31 miles to the MLE-14, so I don't know if we're going around and up. I don't know what it's doing. So I don't know. I just don't know. Right now I'm sticking to the plan. I'm trusting it. Okay, reduce speed 220. Fasten seatbelt sign is on. Apparently, you're supposed to turn on your APU master at 5,000 feet. We're at 7. So I'm going to go on and do it now, because I feel like I'm going to have to deal with other stuff. Okay, that's spooling up. I don't know where this MLE-14 waypoint is. It might be to the opposite. Like, we might be flying over the island. Like, I thought we were going to be flying this way, over and back. Everything I saw, and everyone else I've seen, have been doing this, but for some reason, I'm going this way. We're going to find out. At least we get to fly over the island. That's cool. Let's keep moving. Let's see. So we're gonna AP Master's on, keep watching speed. Then we're going to get ready to do oh, you can't do glide slope and VL yet. Okay. Maybe we're not close enough. Maybe we're not close enough. Oh, you know what? It's because this has to go to nav, and I can't do that yet. Can't go to nav yet. Not until we get close. You had to do some of it manually? Okay, what's up, Jacob? Okay, what's our speed? A little fast. I'm gonna go on and cabin call again. Oops. All right. So there, we need to get to 2,000 and hold. And then just watch that speed. And then I don't know what it's trying to do, but we did get a bird's eye view of the island. That's nice. That portion of the island is underwater. Godspeed, everyone. There's our airport. Careful with speed. Good night, Sax Man. Took sleepy meds, so it's bedtime. All right. Thanks, Sax Man. Look, everybody there waiting. Amplify. So, nose is up a little bit. We should be at like 200. That's okay. 12 miles. What is this? So strange, whatever's going on with this. And then Taraxon. Oh man, we're gonna have like the hardest turn. More power to you flying this, man. Sweet baby Jesus, I like my Airbus and Boeing. It's tough. It's tough, but after watching it, isn't it something that you think maybe you want to try? Okay, so again, this right here, I mean, I should just be doing heading mode, but I'm curious. At this point, I just want to know what is it going to do? 9 miles, speed's fine, altitude's 2,000. I just want to see what it does. It is a lot of fun, no doubt about it. These islands are pretty. Then you get just like that one random island over there, and there's a building. There's some buildings over there, so someone is on that island. I hope John's getting close. So the Mad Dog, Captain Geo. I think the Mad Dog for us, it's in the near future. But we need to, I think we need to review the 737 again at some point. I'm afraid to just like keep learning planes and then forget them all. They'll be in my short-term memory and it won't be enough. Okay, 5.6. So then you move this, cabin secured for landing. You know, that's good. And then okay, we'll do all that on approach mode. We have lots to do. You're at 26,000 feet. That's close. Oh, look at crustacean in the F-18. Joey Bolo in the F-18. Both of you. But yeah, the Mad Dog, the MD-80 is on the list of planes for us to learn. All right, what's going to happen? 2 miles. I better see a hard left. According to that, it's going to go 131. There's the hard left. That's good news. What a weird path it took us on. Flying the MD-80 feels weird. The handling feels weird. I wonder why. How's our speed? I'm gonna drop just a hair. Drop just a hair. I'm gonna go on and turn off the TMS. I'd like to see this straighten up a little bit, because if it turns too hard, then I'm not going to have a lot of time. There we go. There we go. That's our speed. Still around 200. Okay, 12 miles. It's because of the missing DOPA 3A. Yep. John wants to know how far he is. John, I can't see. I can only see your altitude. And even then, there you are up in the air. I don't even see your altitude anymore. Okay, when we get to Raxon, that's when we can enable all the stuff for approach mode. And we have to move quick. Still think we're going too fast. You know what? Decision height here should probably be 200 feet. I'm going to put that in. That was something I should have done earlier. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. Where are you all? Oh, you're still pretty far away. Okay, good. Good. I just need time. Accurately learning the 747. I used to know the basics. Now I'm just trying to fly it more realistic or using the salty mod. And we're still... I still think we're a little too fast. Okay, there's 200. So as soon as I turn, I'm going to turn this switch to nav. I'm going to turn on glide slope and VOR localizer. Okay, we're slowing down a little bit. I'm gonna go on and do
speed check below 25%.
One flap, and then be careful with speed. Okay, we should start turning in a second. There's our airport. This is going to be a really hard bank because we're going away from it and then turning back. Here it goes. So what a weird path it gave me. Okay, here we go. Ready? Nav, glide slope, VOR loc.
Localizer captured.
Okay, landing speed bugs. Okay, speed's too slow. AC pump to auto, AC pump to auto. Where are you? There you are. AC pump to auto, APU air on. Okay, good. All 4 engine air switches off. Boy, this is so much to do on approach. It's so much to do. Confirm the brakes are yellow. They are. Confirm flaps are full. They are now. How's speed? Speed's not bad. 140. I'm waiting for this to drop, but it hasn't dropped yet. I hope we did it right. I feel like we should have already started descending. We'll find out. It hasn't dropped yet. Aren't we too high? Light slow, VLO. Oh, it is dropping now. Thank goodness. Yes. A little faster. A little faster. Remember, the landing speed full flap's going to be 127. And we're at like 123. So I'm just a little too slow. You said 5 or 6 out, and we're 6.8 out. So that's good. Now, we're going to disconnect the autopilot at 500 feet. And we have the glide slope, because we are descending.
We got
Juan, thanks for the follow. Welcome, Juan. Yeah, brace yourself. So far, so good. I'm a little fast, so I'm using some speed brakes. So when we pass 500 feet, we're going to disconnect autopilot. Speed's still a little fast. It does say that when you cross the runway threshold, put your speed brakes on. As you cross the runway threshold, put your speed brakes on, and then immediately drop your thrust levers to full idle, and then put your speed brakes on lift spoilers. So like everything. And apparently you do that. Oh, you do the lift spoilers after your touchdown. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Speed is really, really good. 130. We're supposed to be 127. Autopilot will be off in 240 feet. Landing gear's down. We've got that speed brake. Okay, there's 500. Autopilot is off. So we're flying manually from here.
Flight slow.
When you cross the threshold, put your speed brakes on. mean,
Great pressure seat.
I looked at chat. That's tough to straighten out. That's tough to straighten out.
80 knots.
And then... Then lift spoilers. See him on the wings?
She's starting to shimmy.
Yeah, a little shimmy. A little bit of the shimmy. We'll figure out the landing later, but you know what? That was really good. That was really good for everything we've done, right?
Oh my God, what a disaster.
No, I thought it was good. All right, where's John? Here's John. God bless him. Here's John. I'm stopping. Here he comes. Ugh, I can't get my drone. Can I? Oh, it's because of... I gotta get rid of the timer. There he is. Come on, John. By the way, for those that don't know, John is doing this on a phone. John has never really flown, and he's using a cloud-based Flight Sim 2020, Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, on his Android phone. And this is it. God bless you, John. He might be coming in a little hot. And away from the runway. Good adjustment, John. Good adjustment. Okay, you're a little high. Cut the throttle and glide. He's doing this from his phone. Come on, John. On the ground. Speed brakes. Come on, John. Oh, look at this. Look at him go. Look at him go. And a little hop for enjoyment. Dude. On the ground. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Oh my goodness, John. No problem. Jesus, take the yoke. That was great, John. I'm still over here. I gotta figure out my Wow. John, well done. Look, John, don't convince John that he doesn't need a PC. You need that PC, John. You know how much you're gonna love it? How about this? What a flight. What a very, very gratifying aircraft. That's just a lot of fun. So we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna show you the rest of the checklist to get this thing turned off. Taxi lights on. Strobe light off. TMS we've already turned off. Maybe we did that too early. Transponder to standby. And then make sure the cont IGN switches are still off. If you were in rainy weather, if you had a wet runway, you'd want those on. We didn't have to deal with that. And so then we don't have to do anything else until we get parked. We even got to fly over the island. Now John's taxiing. Look at him. Yeah, Canuck fan, it really does. Redbox said it's ugly as hell, but fun to fly. I mean, I don't mind the way it looks. I kind kind of dig the high wing and the 4 engines. I like it. Okay, we might be taxiing too fast, and luckily it's a high wing, so we go over those. I think that's PP. Here's reset. What a great flight. I just had so much fun with this plane. Yes, Captain Geo. Yeah, because everyone knows that's what this plane is. That's where the term came from, actually. No one knew at the time. I'm parking right next to the water, by the way. I mean, if we're here, we might as well... Oh. We might as well park right there. How about that? What happened to Joey? Joey, how'd you recover? Oh, slewing? I don't know, that was interesting. All right, taxi lights off. Parking brake engaged. Hydraulic pumps off. That is, yeah. Gen 1 and 4 off. Thrust levers to fuel off. Can't see it. Fasten seat belts off. Fuel pumps, except for left inner, because we need it for the APU, off. Heaters, this is what I forgot earlier. Boy, the heaters. I might have forgotten those earlier. All off. Ice detection off. Beacon light off. And then we go to the EFB and we open up the cargo doors, passenger door, and the stairs. Oh, they're not going to do stairs, are they? Unless I have... Well, that's interesting. I'll have to... Yeah, I got to remember to do that. You've got to have the AC pump on to get those stairs down. So put that back to auto. And the last bit, yaw damper master 1 and 2 off. It's a terrible angle. AP master switch off. Avionics off. Oh, well, I'm not done. That's when they counted it. Interesting. Brake fans off. They say when they're sufficiently cooled. I'm just turning them off. Anti-skid off. Yellow-green lift spoilers off. Flight deck emergency lights off. Packs 1 and 2 off. APU air off. Shut down APU. Now, this is a weird one. If you want to shut down the APU, you have to hit this APU overspeed button. Although it doesn't say anything about... Oh, well, it was going to anyway, wasn't it? I think it was going to. It was already stopping. So it might have worked. That's awesome, John, that you did that. Fuel pumps. Fuel pumps. Now we can turn that APU fuel pump off. Galley switch to shed. It already is. All remaining lighting. So if we had any lighting at all, we would turn it all off. And you've got some over there. That's already off. Battery 1 and 2. Are our engines still on? No, they're... I hear another engine. Is that you, John? Do I hear you? Look at you. Look at you, John. But I hear it out of my right side. But everything is turned off, so it sounds like it's coming from over here. But there you are. Turn it off, John. Let me hear if it goes away. However you want to do it. There's a key. Hit that key and turn your batteries off. John, is that you? That is a TBM 930, just no inside.
As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack has 7 cats. Every cat has 7 kittens. Kittens, cats,
remaining
sacks,
fuel, I did not.
All right, 7 guys.
It was a lot.
7 wives. Shut up, McLean. I'm good at this.
We are done. We did it. What a great freaking flight that was. That was just awesome. Your screens are off. Bet you burned a lot flying around low. I don't know. I don't know. We're done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little, and we're going to do it again tomorrow, but tomorrow night it'll be a night flight. So you can see what the lighting looks like on the inside of this plane. I think it's pretty good. So I think you'll like it. I don't know where we're going to fly tomorrow night, but I'm excited to fly this plane again. It's really, really very good. I hope you like watching it. I know, John, you did great. Yeah, Salty, they did. Rose, you're still here. Thank you, Rose. We are going to raid somebody. We need to see who we're going to raid. Hopefully someone we haven't raided before. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah. I got it. I got it. Thanks, KW. That's mine that I play with my band. Let's go say hello to Chewy Nuts. Chewy Nuts says road to 250 followers and currently has 197. So I bet we can at least get him to 200. So let's go say hi. He's flying the Phoenix 320. Let's go say hi. So thanks again, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day tomorrow. And we'll see you all tomorrow night. Night, everybody.
What's just happened? Got a rate of 71.